6. 8 bases for giving. 1 gives A as occasion offers, B from fear, C thinking he gave me something, D thinking he will give me something, E thinking it is good to give, F thinking I am cooking something they are not. It would not be right not to give something to those who are not cooking. G thinking if I make this gift, I shall acquire a good reputation. H in order to adorn and prepare one's heart. 7. 8 kinds of rebirth due to generosity. Here someone gives an ascetic or Brahmin food, drink, clothes, transport, garlands, perfumes and ointments, sleeping accommodation, a dwelling or lights, and he hopes to receive a return for his gifts. He sees a rich Khattiya or Brahmin or householder living in full enjoyment of the pleasures of the 5 senses, and he thinks, if only when I die I may be reborn as one of these rich people. He sets his heart on this thought, fixes it and develops it, and this thought being launched at such a low level and not developed to a higher level leads to rebirth right there. But I say this of a moral person, not of an immoral one. The mental aspiration of a moral person is effective through its purity. Or B, he gives such gifts, and having heard that the Devas in the realm of the 4 great kings live long, are good-looking, and lead a happy life, he thinks, if only I could be reborn there. Or he similarly aspires to rebirth in the heavens of C, the 33 gods, D, the Yama Devas, E, Tusita Devas, F, Nimanarati Devas, G, Paranimitta Vasavati Devas. And this thought leads to rebirth right there. The mental aspiration of a moral person is effective through its purity. Or H, he similarly aspires to rebirth in the world of Brahma. But I say this of a moral person, not an immoral one freed from passion, not one still swayed by passion. The mental aspiration for such a moral person is effective through liberation from passion. Stop here for a moment. So here somebody makes an aspiration for a good rebirth, and the Buddha is saying that it's only effective, it can only work if he has the blessings for it. So like for this person who wants to be reborn as Brahma, that he got to be freed from the passion. Freed from the passion means he must have attained the first jhana. If he hasn't attained the first jhana, how to be reborn in the first jhana, heaven, as Brahma. So you got to have the qualification. You don't have the qualification, then you cannot, your aspiration cannot work. So actually, if you have the qualification, you don't have to aspire, you don't have to make a wish. There are some monks, they tell people, when you give a gift, you must make a wish for this, make a wish for that. But in the suttas, the Buddha says, when you dana, when you make a gift, and you make an aspiration, then you are selfish. You have a motive, you want to gain something. That being so, your blessings, your merit decreases. So you don't have to make an aspiration. What you are qualified for, you will get. Number 8, 8 assemblies. The assembly of Khattiyas, Brahmins, householders, ascetics, Devas of the realm of the 4 great kings, of the 33 gods, of Maras, of Brahmas. Number 9, 8 worldly conditions. Gain and loss, fame and shame, blame and praise, happiness and misery. This in the Mahayana books, in Chinese books, they call the 8 winds that move us. Number 10, 8 stages of mastery. Perceiving forms internally, one sees external forms, limited and beautiful or ugly. B, as A but unlimited. C, not perceiving forms internally, one sees external forms limited. Or D, one sees external forms unlimited. And not perceiving forms internally, one perceives forms that are E, blue, F, yellow, G, red, H, white. Up here for a moment. These 4 colors are the kasina colors. If people want to meditate on color, they choose one of these 4 colors. Blue, yellow, red and white. 11. 8 liberations. A. Possessing form, one sees forms. B. Not perceiving material forms in oneself, one sees them outside. C. Thinking it is beautiful, one becomes intent on it. One enters D. The sphere of infinite space. E. Sphere of infinite consciousness. F. Sphere of nothingness. G. Sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. H. Cessation of perception and feeling. These are the sets of 8 things. 3.2. There are sets of 9 things. 1. 9 causes of malice or anger. Malice is stirred up by the thought, A. He has done me an injury. B. He is doing me an injury. C. He will do me an injury. D to F. He has done, is doing, or will do an injury to someone who is dear and pleasant to me. G to I. He has done, is doing, or will do a favor to someone who is hateful and unpleasant to me. Stop here for a moment. So, malice is stirred up. You get angry with somebody because he has done you something wrong, or he is doing something wrong to you, or he is going to do something wrong to you, or he has done, is doing, or will do to someone you love, like your family member. And then G to I. He has done, is doing, or will do a favor to somebody you hate, your enemy. Number 2, 9 ways of overcoming malice. Malice is overcome by the thought, he has done me an injury, as before. But what good would it do to harbor malice? What's the point of getting angry? What's the point of hating him? Then you let go. 3, 9 abodes of beings. A. Beings different in body and different in perception. B. Beings different in body and alike in perception. C. Beings alike in body and different in perception. D. Beings alike in body and alike in perception. E. The realm of unconscious beings. F. Realm of neither perception nor non-perception. G. Beings who have attained to the sphere of infinite space. H. Beings who have attained to the sphere of infinite consciousness. I. Beings who have attained to the sphere of nothingness. 4. 9 unfortunate inopportune times for leading the holy life. Wrong times to become a monk. A Tathagata has been born in the world, Arahant Sammasambuddha, and the Dhamma is taught which leads to calm and perfect Nibbana, which leads to enlightenment as taught by the welfarer. But this person is born in a hell, or B among animals, or C among ghosts, or D among asuras, or E in a long-lived group of devas, or F, he is born in the border regions among foolish barbarians where there is no access for monks and nuns or male and female lay followers. Or G, he is born in the middle country but he has wrong views and distorted vision, thinking there is no giving, offering or sacrificing, there is no fruit or result of good and bad deeds, there is not this world and the next. There are no parents and there are no spontaneous rebirth. There are no ascetics and Brahmins in the world who, having attained to the highest and realized for themselves the highest knowledge about this world and the next, proclaim it. Or H, he is born in the middle country but lacks wisdom and is stupid, or is deaf and dumb and cannot tell whether something has been well said or ill said. Or else, no Tathagata has arisen, and this person is born in the middle country and is intelligent, not stupid, not deaf, not dumb, and well able to tell whether something has been well said or ill said. Stop here for a moment. So these are the wrong occasions to become a monk, or not possible to become a monk. The Buddha is in the world, but this person is born in hell, or as an animal, or as a ghost, or as an asura, maybe because asuras are always fighting, or in a long life group of devas. That means the life is so long that they don't see impermanence. They think they will live forever and ever. Or F, or born in a place where there's the Dhamma cannot be heard, All the people there are barbarians. Or G is born in the Ganges Valley where the Buddha is, but he does not believe in the Buddha's teachings. He has wrong view. And then H is born in the middle country where the Buddha is, but he is either has Down syndrome, or he is dumb and deaf, etc. Or he is born in the India where the Buddha should be, but at the wrong time, the Buddha has already entered Nibbana and there is no Dhamma. 5. 9 successive abidings. Jhanas and the spheres of infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception, and cessation of perception and feeling. That means the 4 Rupa Jhanas, the 4 Arupa Jhanas plus cessation. 6. 9 successive cessations. By the attainment of the first jhana, perceptions of sensuality cease. By the attainment of the second jhana, thought directed and sustained cease. By the attainment of the third jhana, piti or delight ceases. By the attainment of the fourth jhana, breathing ceases. By the attainment of the sphere of infinite space, perception of materiality ceases. By the attainment of the sphere of infinite consciousness, perception of the sphere of infinite space ceases. By the attainment of the sphere of nothingness, perception of the sphere of infinite consciousness ceases. By the attainment of the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, the perception of the sphere of nothingness ceases. By the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, perception and feeling cease. These are the sets of 9 things. 3.3. There are sets of 10 things perfectly proclaimed by the Lord. 1. 10 things that give protection. Here among A is moral. A among is moral. He lives restrained according to the restraint of the discipline. Persisting in right behavior, seeing danger in the slightest fault. He keeps to the rules of training. B. He has learned much and bears in mind and retains what he has learned. In these teachings, beautiful in the beginning, the middle and end, which in spirit and letter proclaim the absolutely perfected and purified holy life. He is deeply learned. He remembers them, recites them, reflects on them, and penetrates them with vision. C. He is a friend, associate, and intimate of good people. D. He is affable, endowed with gentleness and patience, quick to grasp instruction. E. Whatever various jobs there are to be done for his fellow monks, he is skillful, not lax, using foresight to carry them out, and is good at doing and planning. F. He loves the Dhamma and delights in hearing it. He is especially fond of the advanced Dhamma Vinaya. G. He is content with any kind of requisite, robes, alms, food, lodging, medicines. H. He ever strives to arouse energy to get rid of unwholesome states, to establish wholesome states, untiringly and energetically striving to keep such good states and never shaking off the burden. I. He is mindful with a great capacity for clearly recalling things done and said long ago. It's a definition of sati. Sati is a person who remembers what was said and done a long time ago. J. He is wise, with wise perception of arising and passing away, that Aryan perception that leads to the complete destruction of suffering. This last one, to attain destruction of suffering, you have to be able to see the rising and passing away of everything in the world, in other words, impermanence. 2. 10 objects for the attainment of absorption. I perceive the earth kasina, water kasina, fire kasina, wind kasina, blue kasina, yellow kasina, red kasina, white kasina, space kasina, consciousness or light kasina, above, below, on all sides, undivided, unbounded. These are the 10 kasina objects. Number 3, 10 unwholesome causes of action or unskillful karma, taking life or killing, taking what is not given or theft, sexual misconduct or adultery, lying speech or lying, slander or carrying tales to cause disharmony, coarse speech, idle gossip, greed, malevolence or ill will, and wrong view. The first three is unskillful body karma. The next four is unskillful verbal karma. The last three is unskillful mental karma. Number 4, 10 unwholesome causes of action, avoidance of taking life, etc., as the previous one. 5, 10 Aryan dispositions. Here among A has got rid of 5 factors, B possesses 6 factors, C has established 1 God, D observes the 4 supports, E has got rid of individual beliefs, F has quite abandoned quest, G is pure of motive, H has tranquilized his emotions, is well liberated, I in heart, and J by wisdom. How has he got rid of 5 factors? Here he has got rid of sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt, the 5 hindrances. B. What 6 factors does he possess? On seeing an object with the eye, hearing a sound, smelling a taste, tasting a flavor, touching a tangible, or cognizing a mental object, he is neither pleased nor displeased, but remains equable, mindful and clearly aware. That means he practices equanimity. C. How has he established the one God? By guarding his mind with mindfulness. Always looking into his mind. D. What are the 4 supports? He judges that one thing is to be pursued, one thing endured, one thing avoided, one thing suppressed. This as in Sutta 1.11.8. E. How has he got rid of individual beliefs? Whatever individual beliefs are held by the majority of ascetics and Brahmins, he has dismissed, abandoned, rejected, let go of them. F. How is he one who has quite abandoned quests? He has abandoned the quest for sense desires, for rebirth, for the holy life. Quest for holy life. Maybe it means it does not make too much effort. G. How is he pure of motive? He has abandoned thoughts of sensuality, ill will and cruelty. These are the 3 wrong thoughts. H. How is he one who has tranquilized his emotions? Because having given up pleasure and pain with the disappearance of former gladness and sadness, he enters into a state beyond pleasure and pain, which is purified by equanimity, and this is the 4th jhana. This one. So when a person attains the 4th jhana, he tranquilizes his emotions. I. How is he well emancipated in mind? He is liberated from the thought of greed, hatred and delusion. J. How is he well liberated by wisdom? He understands, for me greed, hatred and delusion are abandoned, cut off at the root, made like a palm stump, destroyed and incapable of growing again. So these last 2 are arahants. 6. 10 qualities of the non-learner. This is the arahant, aseka. There's no more things to learn. The non-learner's right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right knowledge, and right liberation. These are the sets of 10 things which have been perfectly set forth by the Lord who knows and sees, the full enlightened Buddha. So we should all recite them together without disagreement, so that this holy life may be long-lasting and established for a long time to come, thus to be for the welfare and happiness of the multitude, out of compassion for the world, for the benefit, welfare and happiness of devas and humans. And when the Lord had stood up, he said to the Venerable Sariputta, Good, Sariputta, well indeed have you proclaimed the way of chanting together for the monks. These things were said by the Venerable Sariputta, and the teacher confirmed them. The monks were delighted and rejoiced at the Venerable Sariputta's words. That's the end of the sutta. This word Sangiti means chanting together. So after the Buddha passed away, when the Sangha held the first Sangha Council. The Sangha Council is called the Sangiti, chanting together. When they come together, either they chant the Dhamma together or the Vinaya together, and they agree that this is the words of the Buddha. Tomorrow night we will speak on the last sutta of the Digha Nikaya before we go to Kudaka. Anything to discuss? Should be. No, this sutta was spoken by Venerable Sariputta. So he's telling them that we should chant together. You see, during the Buddha's time, the monks had no books. So whatever the Buddha taught, all the suttas, they had to learn it from their teacher. The teacher will teach them, the teacher will chant, and then they chant together. Yeah.
Why not have a rest after work as a discipline? Why not lie down and rest for half an hour?
Oh, for a normal person, that is a normal thing to do. But the Buddha is talking about his disciples who are practicing to attain liberation and they don't want to rest. In other words, you need that kind of super effort to become liberated. As the Buddha says, Mara, there's no power stronger than Mara, our defilements.
What the Buddha mentioned why the kasinas are blue, red, yellow, white?
No, the Buddha did not mention. And these kasinas were not created by the Buddha. They were objects of meditation practiced by the yogis in India for a long time, maybe thousands of years. So it's been handed down. So it works. That's why the Buddhas and disciples follow it.
What are the Vedas?
What page again?
50.
50. Pita is a Pali word for ghost. This after the Pitas you have the Asuras. And actually Asuras, according to the Digha Nikaya, are heavenly beings. But later books, like the Mahayana Sutras and the Abhidhamma and the commentaries, they list the Asuras under the woeful destinations of rebirth. In the original suttas, there are only 5 destinations of rebirth. 2 are happy destinations, heavens and the human realm. And 3 are woeful destinations, the ghosts, the animals, and the hell beings. But the later books, they added the asuras under the woeful planes. So instead of 5 destinations of rebirth, later books talk about 6 destinations of rebirth. So the fact that the under D, you have the asuras mentioned here, it could be a later addition.
Okay. Concerning the attachment to wine and ritual, when they talk about duty to the teacher is also one. Can somebody elaborate on this?
No, I didn't say duty to the teacher is attachment to rites and rituals. I was trying to say this word, the Pali word is sila, bhatta, paramasa. This is sila, bhatta, paramasa. So this attachment to sila and vata. So sila is the rules, all kinds of rules, including the precepts. And vata means all the religious observances. So I was trying to say that I say all religious observances, and then I quoted the Acharya Vata, that the Vata is also used in that sense, even duty to the teacher. But I did not say that duty to the teacher is attachment.
Going back to the point on Asura, the Asura actually Deva, and means that the one is according to this, the point that we discussed, the Asura can't be enlightened or we can't progress in the Dharma.
It's not stated anywhere that the Asuras cannot progress in the Dhamma, but generally heavenly beings, because they are enjoying life in the heavens, the most they will do is to listen to the Dhamma. And I think Asuras have enough blessings to be able to listen to the Dhamma and maybe attain Sotapanna.
Something I would like to raise a point, page 505 is the continuation of paragraph 6, page, in order to adorn and prepare one's heart, there is an 8 basis for giving.
There's a note say, in order to adorn and prepare one's heart.
It means to prepare ourselves for Dharma, start for the Dharma,
Could be to, if you have a good heart, then you can practice the spiritual path better.
Can we believe here that Sangiti is actually a grand summary of what we have taught? It's almost all the things we talked about in various ways.
You can say that, but they don't explain enough. And also some of the things seem to be later addition. Certain things like we don't see in the other suttas, they seem to have put it here.
I think false support. Here among that is one thing to pursue, one thing to do, one thing to...
What page? What page?
Page 4,
Here one thing is to be pursued. I think that day I mentioned like wholesome states. One thing to be endured could be pain or suffering. One thing to be avoided could be unwholesome states, anger and all that. One thing to be suppressed, thoughts of lust, hatred and delusion, or thoughts of sensual desire, malice or enmity, ill will, and cruelty, wrong thoughts.
So, page 500, emancipation of the heart. So it says that we can make our vehicle to loving kindness and all Dharma Vihara as a vehicle to reach the emancipation of heart. Can you explain a bit about the emancipation of heart and how far we can bring us in our practice?
Under 17, is it? Emancipation of the heart, Ceto Vimutti, I think it's a wrong translation. if you notice, I read it differently. I called it liberation by the mind. Ceto is the mind of loving kindness, metta. Liberation by the mind of loving kindness. In other words, radiation by the mind of loving kindness. And this one, you got to have the jhana, and you have a strong mind, and use the mind to radiate or liberate loving kindness.
So does it mean that we practice this loving kindness through the jhana, right? And we not really arising in our mind even after we come out from meditation?
Oh yes. Yeah. Because when a person comes out of jhana, the effect of the jhana will stay for some time. That's why, like the Buddha says, a person to attain liberation should attain the fourth jhana. So, like the Buddha himself, on the night of enlightenment, he attained the fourth jhana, and then coming out of the fourth jhana, he used that calm, imperturbable state, and the Buddha described that state where the mind is pliant, malleable, wieldy, workable. Then you can use it for anything you want. And the Buddha says, in that state, in that condition of mind, whatever you want to see and know, you are able to see and know. Jnana, dasana, knowing and seeing. So when the Buddha directs it to the Four Noble Truths, then he understands the Four Noble Truths and attains liberation. So you notice also in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the way the Buddha entered Nibbana, Parinibbana, he attained all the jhanas and then came out of it. Then he attained 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the fourth jhana. Coming out of the fourth jhana, where the mind is, the Buddha says that the fourth jhana is an imperturbable state, unshakable. It is so strong and unshakable. Coming out of the fourth jhana, the Buddha entered Nibbana. So if you have not entered any jhana, the mind is full of the five hindrances. How is it possible to enter Nibbana? Impossible. That's why in the suttas, the Buddha says it's impossible to become an anagami or an arahant without the four jhanas. So which shows that the pure vipassana method is just something cooked up, not the Buddha's words.
Is that how
all of them should have entered Nibbana in that way. You see, if a person constantly dwells in the fourth jhana, then the mind inclines to that fourth jhana because it's such a pleasant state. So when a monk is dying, the mind will naturally incline to that state, peaceful state. That's why, for example, if a person has cultivated the first jhana and constantly abides in the first jhana, when he dies, he's reborn in the first jhana heaven, Mahabrahma.
Simply on the four Brahma, the Buddha always encourages the monk to dwell in the four Brahma, because the four Brahma while they are very wholesome state of mind, but they are not the same. So, in order to have a complete wholesomeness, to arahants or monks, throughout all four Brahma Viharas, they specialize in one. For example, in metta, that presently teachers that teach all the metta meditation, either is karuna or mudita.
Actually, the 4 Brahma Viharas are something that the Brahmins like very much because they want to be reborn in the Brahma realm and then they want to practice that. And it is not essential for liberation, that's why it is not part of the Noble Eightfold Path. But it is something useful for the monks to cultivate because if they have loving kindness, compassion, joy and equanimity, then it influences the environment. So if a monk, for example, practices loving kindness, he goes into the deep forest and there are fierce beings in the deep forest. Sometimes you have fierce ghosts or you have fierce devas that might harm him, but because of the practice of loving kindness, he radiates radiation of loving kindness by the mind, then these beings will not harm him. But I think it's up to him whether he wants to practice 1 or he wants to practice 4. But it is something I feel it's more, the Buddha mentioned it because it is something that the Indian tradition, the Brahmins, they like to practice. But it's not essential for liberation.
Page 510. There is white knowledge. What is the white knowledge? State here.
Right knowledge. Right knowledge, samma jnanam, right liberation. Actually, after the Noble Eightfold Path, it should be liberation, and then after liberation is knowledge of liberation. So here should be knowledge of liberation. Okay, shall we end here?